We all gas, no brakes, pumped up, no fakes. We spinning, we winning, we high stakes. We never miss, we all makes. Look at us dudes trying to prove, bringing you news with nothing to lose. Mike, Nick, Tony, Wayne, Method, man, we bring the pain. See, I'ma confess it. We under the pressure. If you looking to find us, we them nothing but Niners. We nothing but Niners. We nothing but Niners. We nothing but Niners. We nothing but we them nothing but Niners.
Click, click, boom. What's going on, faithful? The Nothing But Niners crew is back. We are here, guys, to bring you guys another fun-filled episode. All right, so we want to go through a couple of formalities here, and then we're going to break this thing down, guys. We have the undrafted free agents that the 49ers have signed. I'm your guy, 49ers Mike _NFL. You see that right there. Guys, stop by and give us some likes on this website, Nothing But Niners on YouTube, all right? So make sure you guys give us those thumbs up. Hit that like button, the subscribe button. Make sure you guys have your notifications turned on so you know exactly when we're going live. Hit us up on our social media handles as well. We have Twitter and Snapchat. That is Nothing But 9 ERS. Nothing but the number 9 ERS. Give us a follow on our Instagram as well as Facebook pages. That is Nothing But Niners, spelled all the way out. We have our first website, nothingbutniners.com. That is where you're going to get all the fun stuff there, the pictures, the podcasts, the videos. You're going to get the articles. All that good stuff is right there. Nothingbutniners.com, spelled all the way out. If you guys want some of that apparel, the freshness, man, the hotness, Breezy got the mugs. I can't wait for my order to get here, and I'm going to show y'all what I'm rocking too. But it's shopnb9ers.com. That is shopnb9ers.com. That is enough of the formalities. Where's my crew, man? Where's everybody at, man? Where's my man Breezy? Where's my man Nick? Where's my man Tony? What's going on, fellas?
What's up? What's up? What's up? Bang,
Let's
bang,
go.
Matic gang.
That's what I'm talking about. Breezy, how you feeling up there, bro? Can't hear you, big dog. You gotta take yourself off mute. There he is. Come on.
My bad, man. Hey, man, I just got out of the you know what, man. I'm feeling relieved right now. And I can't wait to talk about some of these undrafted free agents, man. These rookies, man. It's gonna be real cool to talk about these guys. And what's cool is that there's a lot of gems stashed out there, huh? Like we got some players we could talk about today. What's going on, Nick?
Chilling, man. Chilling. As always, man. Ready to dig into another Nothing But Niners show. For those of you that are watching us on Periscope, hit that like, give us those hearts. Those of you that are like watching us on YouTube, hit that like and subscribe button. And those of you who are on Facebook, hit that like button. Make sure you guys grant permission as well to Facebook so that we know who is commenting. So other than that, what's going on, Tony?
What's going on, fellas? Ready to talk some UDFAs? Yeah, I agree with Wayne. There is a couple of gems in here, potential gems. But there are also a couple guys in here that, could be added to the roster due to questions of other players. So we'll get into that later.
Hey, let me make this awkward right out the gate. You guys think there's any scrubs in this group?
And the undrafted group?
Oh yeah.
So
you don't want to say it. You won't do it.
Well, all right. So yeah.
I'm not asking you to name names. Do you think any of them scrubs? How about that?
I think there's a couple of scrubs in this group. I think there's a couple of scrubs. So the fact that, but here's what I know about scrubs, yo. Scrubs scrap, and scraps usually fight. And you go ahead and fight you a scrubby, scrappy player if you want to, man. They'll end up punching you in the mouth and making this team, all right? So there's gonna be some scrubs in this group, man, and I hope we get to them. We talk about them today.
We absolutely will. We're going to go ahead and dig into that right now, guys. Again, I'm happy to be out here. I'm sitting in the rain a little bit. It was not raining until I started lighting the cigar. I promise you that. So let's have some fun with it, guys. I don't know where you guys want to start. I have a list here. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I got 11 guys. Anybody's list different from mine?
Nope.
We all got the same 11,
it's 11.
right?
It's 11.
All right, so how about we do it this way? We're going to start with Tony. You pick a player. We break them down. If you have any opinions on them, we'll go into it more. And if not, we'll go up to Nick for the next one, then Breezy, and then I'll do that, and we'll go around Robin style, all right?
Let's do it.
I'm going to go with The first guy on my list, there's no particular order. I just happened to type him in first. Chris Fink from Notre Dame, the wide receiver. He's a slot guy. He's a punt returner, kick returner. He's 5'9", 186 pounds. I don't have the full statistical breakdown on him, but I will tell you this. I watched some tape on him today, and he's not bad. And in my opinion, when I said earlier that there's a couple guys that could be brought in because of questions on the roster, he's one of them. Because this guy is your typical slot guy who works the middle of the field, that creates separations on those quick in and out routes. His hands are pretty good, pretty consistent. He's not the fastest, but he knows how to run a route. Team captain, and this was a guy that was a walk-on and was given and awarded a scholarship because of his hard work, dedication, and production in practices, somewhat like a Rudy type thing. But I really like what I seen on him on tape. Versus Georgia, he had a pretty solid game. He probably had about 3 catches for about like 60 yards. He had a couple returns. I forgot the other team that they played. I know Duke, and I think it was Missouri. It might have been Missouri. No, Duke, or I remember the Duke game definitely. He had a phenomenal game. I mean, he took one to the house on a punt return. He does like those deep over routes, and for some reason, when he does that little shimmy to break on that over, people can't stay with him. I don't know what it is, but he runs that route pretty damn well. So he sells it, man. So and just one thing, this guy, I think he was brought in to, number one, compete with Richie James as a punt returner. That's number one. Number two, to compete in case Trent Taylor's not ready. Trent Taylor's had 5 surgeries. Okay. He's 26 years old. I think he accumulated 60 catches for like 700 yards over his career as a 49er. When he was healthy prior to this injury of the foot or the ankle, the Jones fracture, he was having a lights out camp. No one could cover him. But due to that, now it's a big question mark. He was brought in, and they paid this guy, I want to say, $90,000 to choose the 49ers and sign with them. Mm-hmm. So they shelled out a lot of money to secure his services and get him to commit to be a San Francisco 49er. So that's my guy.
Yeah, man. Just looking him up, man. I like his last season, his 29. I'm just gonna read his 2019 stats. All right. But and this wasn't his best year at Notre Dame in 2019, but I'm going to read his stats. I think Chase Claypool obviously was the guy that stood out in that offense, but this is one of the guys that definitely kept the chains moving. This is the guy that was the comfort zone for the quarterback, right? This is your slot guy. This is your go-to guy for any type of quarterback. He only
security blanket.
Security blanket, exactly. He only played in 11. He played in 11 games, right? He had 41 receptions. 456 yards. Here's what's cool, right? So if you divide those numbers, right, this dude is at 11.1 yards a catch. That's a first down plus a yard every one of his catches, every one of his attempts, right? So like that's a pretty solid average for a guy. Guy averages a first down when he gets that ball. He also rushed out of the backfield. But that's not what's intriguing. His year before, his previous year's 2018 year, he did a little bit better because he played in 2 extra games, probably a bowl game or something like that or whatever. He had 49 receptions, 571 yards. His average was up a little bit higher at 11.7. But his production in touchdowns was less. He had 2 touchdowns, but he rushed more with 5 attempts with 20 yards. So this is a player that may come in. He's definitely going to be competition, and this is not one of those scrubs that I had on my scrub list. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And a big thing that we have to mention here, we would remiss if we didn't, got $95,000 guaranteed from the team. Guaranteed. So that's big money for an undrafted free agent to give him right there on the spot. Go ahead, Nick. It looked like you wanted to jump in there. No, yeah. So $95,000 guaranteed from him. Notre Dame wide receiver. I got nothing else to add to that one. So, Nick, you're up next, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I put too much stock into the signing bonus because a lot of these guys were paid a lot of money compared to years past. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that there is no training camp, there is no OTAs, there is no tryouts. So normally you get to bring in some tryout guys and things like that as well. But I think that's kind of nixed this year because of the fact that you can't really use the facilities and things like that. They're, today was the first day of virtual training. So whether that's, working on the iPad, working out, or doing whatever they do. But I think it was just more as in, securing that opportunity. So you're paying those guys a little bit more to bring them to your team because you don't have those workout guys.
Well, the Niners only gave 2 players more than $40,000 guaranteed. So it means something. Everyone got guaranteed, but not only 2 of them got more than 40.
Right. But what I'm trying to say is it's a lot more than it's been in years past. All of them. They've all gotten more money than they have in the years past. So either way, I mean, it's still a lot of money. It's good. This pickup kind of does worry me about Trent Taylor. I just don't understand it. To be honest with you, I mean, yeah, he's a decent player, but you have, right now you have guys that play out of the slot in Trent Taylor. You got guys that play the slot as in Kendrick Bourne. It's going to be interesting to see where these guys end up or if they make the team. But great addition, great for competition. So I'm going to go on to my guy.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. So my player that I like the most is Salvon Ahmed. He's, I think he's 5'11", 195, can run, can catch. The football he runs a 4.3 40. So that's that speed in that backfield. He averaged 5.4 yards per average on rushing, 1,020 yards last year. And last year was his most rushing yards. He had 188 attempts for 1,020 yards, 11 touchdowns, 16 receptions, 84 yards in receiving, averaging 5.3 yards. And then total plays from scrimmage, 204 with 1,104 as a total for scrimmage yards. This kid can do it all. And he kind of reminds me of, like I was saying earlier before we started the show, he kind of reminds me of a Matt Breida. He's got that fast speed. He's got good explosion. He can catch the football. He averages, 5.4 yards a carry. Matt Breida was somewhere in that, 4.8 to 5 yards a carry in the NFL, obviously. But his size, his stature, his weight, his ability, his athleticism, all kind of reminds me of a Matt Breida type of player, as well as the other running back that we picked up. But I think this guy's really explosive. Came out of Washington, plays, it's the Pac-12 conference. But yeah, I really like this dude. I don't know what it is about him, but I really, really like this guy.
Well, he's got eye-popping numbers, that's for damn sure. You know what I mean? You're looking at over 1,100 scrimmage yards for a guy coming out of Washington. And then, it's surprising to me because you wouldn't think that his frame would be that durable. He's 5'11", so he's got some nice height to him, and he's only 196. And the other guy that you were talking about is Jermichael Hasty. He's 5'9" and 205. So he's 2 inches shorter than him, but he's got him by, 10 pounds. So it's a, you wouldn't think that a guy like that would be that durable. It might be a good thing. Can't wait to see what the Niners do for him, or what he can do for the Niners, I should say. Anybody else have any other thoughts on him before we move on to Breezy's guy? No.
No, man. Right. I just like the fact that he might be that Breida speed, comparison. I definitely like where Nick was going with that one. So hopefully he makes the squad, man. That's what we're hoping for these guys. But my guy, I'm going on the defensive side, man. And it's something about defense that just irks, that just makes me want to just like just get ready and wild out, man. So I'm gonna go with safety Jared Maiden out of Alabama, man. All right, so this guy is 6'0", 205 pounds. He obviously is undrafted. I think this is a solid pickup for us. I know a lot of people like, yo, why do we need a safety? Blah, 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 all this good stuff. We just signed Jimmy Ward. Listen, man, the great thing about Jimmy Ward is he's versatile, right? And we've seen him play cornerback. We definitely know he's stronger at safety, but this could be a reason why we slip Jimmy Ward down to the box, and then you bring in this kid. And this kid's a ball hawk. Like, this kid reads the ball and eyes the ball. All right, and he's also a big hitter. So like you're gonna get a ball hawking big hitter. Now he does miss on some plays, but he did have 59 tackles. He had 4 interceptions in Alabama in 2019. If you guys watch the film I put out a hit. He laid a hit on a wide receiver out of Tennessee. I don't want to mention his name, but many of you called out who that wide receiver was. And I'll just give you a hint. He's our 7th round draft pick. All right. So he put a big hit on him, caused the fumble. And that's what this kid does, man. He reads the quarterback's eyes. And it's just so weird that these dudes don't make squads, yo. I see somebody posted that he runs a 4.58. Listen, our safeties don't need super duper back end speed, man. That's not the style that we play, bro. I think this guy is going to be a problem, and I think he makes the squad. And guys, you got to look out for, your DJ Reeds, your Tavarius Moores, and all those tats, man. This is a kid that's going to come in, and he's going to be playing with a chip on his shoulder because he didn't get drafted. And we know Tart is the box guy, but this is a guy that's going to definitely bring some competition to the camp. All he has to do is learn that playbook. And hopefully he makes it to the squad. Give me your thoughts on Jared Maiden, guys.
Tony, you want to go first, or you want me to take it?
Yeah, I'll go. Maiden has versatility. He could play corner, slot, both safety positions. So he's one of those guys that fit right into what the 49ers like. They could play multiple spots. I actually have that he ran a 4.45 at Alabama's
pro day.
Junior day.
Yep.
Yeah. And then a 4 he was hoping to run like in a 4.3s, but he didn't.
Right.
Listen, man, I honestly think that because of what's going on with the COVID, this guy slipped right under the radar because there was no pro days, there was no like senior pro days, and there was no like visits and stuff like that. Everything was over like the video chat. So I think he slipped under the radar, and we were able to land him. I like him. I think he's gonna make the 53, 55, whatever the hell it is. And just one thing you got to keep in mind: Jaquissi Tartt's a free agent next year.
Exactly.
Kawan Williams is a free agent. Exactly. Witherspoon's a free agent. Sherman's a free agent. So they're gonna be looking to add bodies for 2021, and it starts with this undrafted free agent class and last year's draft class. So.
Yeah, I think the most impressive thing about this young man to me is his nose for the ball. The 4 passes intercepted, and then the 3 passes defensed by him. So that's showing you that he's got an eye for the ball. It's so strange though. Everybody else in the Alabama secondary was so heralded, like he wasn't. So I'm wondering what it is that people didn't see or didn't like in him. I mean, he's got some decent numbers here: 44 solo tackles, 28 assisted tackles, the 1 tackle for loss. Like Breezy said, the 4 interceptions and the 3 PBUs. I mean, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how he plays out. And I'm not going to sit here and say that he's taking the starter's job, but he can definitely be a nice depth piece and someone to come in here and compete and work his ass off and see if he can make this roster.
Special teams too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All right. I guess I'll keep it moving unless someone else wants to touch on this. No. All right. So I'm going to go with running back / linebacker, Josh Hokit. Now, I don't know if I'm saying Hockett or Hokit, but Hokit is the last name for Fresno State. 6'1", 225, 75 rushing attempts, only 287 yards, but he's got 9 touchdowns. He is their goal line guy. Here you go. Bang it in, right? That's how they were using him over there. 17 receptions for 97 yards, 1 touchdown for a total of 341 scrimmage yards. So I don't think – now listen to this. This is what was interesting about him. He also played some linebacker. I think they're going to come in here and try to make this guy fullback. I really, really do. I know he played running back, and I know that he played linebacker, but he didn't play linebacker much last year. But he was one of those guys that could if they needed him to. I think they're going to make him a fullback. He's clearly not afraid of contact. If you're playing linebacker, you're definitely not afraid of contact. So he's got that nose for the go get him and get after him. And with the knowledge of what a linebacker is responsible for doing, a fullback is the perfect guy to convert him to. You know what I mean? He's got the knowledge of his usual assignment. So I really like Josh Hokit from Fresno State. I will shut up now and see if you guys have any thoughts on him.
I agree with you. I think he's 100% going to be groomed for Kyle Juszczyk's replacement if they don't re-sign him after this year. Juszczyk is a free agent in 2021. What I like about him, he's a former wrestler. He's an explosive guy, strong legs, strong midsection. He's not afraid of contact. He will get into you and block you and whatever he needs to do. But the number one thing I'm going to say is he needs to earn this roster spot on special teams. This team's not going to hold a fullback as a second string just to hold a roster spot to be a backup fullback. He's going to have to work his butt off, be a special teamer. And to be honest with you, I see a lot of juice in him. I see a lot of use checking him, and he likes to play. He plays his game, his style, similar to Juszczyk. That receiving back out of the backfield, he could run better than Juszczyk could. But like I said, 100% special teams. He's got to get in here. He's got to bust his ass, and he's got to get in with Hightower. So he makes him one of his special team aces.
Yeah. Any other thoughts on him before we move on to the next person?
Yeah,
Because,
I think he's listed as I think he's already listed as a fullback.
he's a fullback.
Yeah, some sites do. Some sites make him a running back, linebacker.
Yeah, I seen him listed as a fullback. So
where I got my information from these guys was I looked at their school websites to see how the schools had him listed, not how. Because a lot of the other sites will project him to it or whatever, and I'm projecting him. That's why I said I want to see him as a fullback. But yeah, that's a good call there, Nick. He's already listed as a fullback, so that's great.
Well, I mean, the Bulldog site has him as a listed as a fullback. That's where I seen it as a fullback, and then in the draft preview, he's listed as a fullback also. So that's why I wasn't sure where I didn't see anything on him as playing running back and linebacker, but that's interesting because I'll have to look him up more. I didn't really do much investigating on him. But like Tony said, I mean, I think his way of making this team is special teams because you got guys that, can play that fullback position, and Kyle likes his tight ends to be able to play fullback as well in certain situations. So is this a guy that will line up in both positions? You know what I mean? That's something to be interested to look at. Obviously you got Helm still on the roster, Ross Dwelly, Charlie Warner now, and then also George Kittle. Am I missing anybody tight end wise? I think that's it, right? Oh, well, and then there's another undrafted guy that we signed as a tight end.
But I'm going to touch on him next. I don't think he was brought in for a tight end. But
now, before we move on to the next person, though, we made a mistake, guys. We usually start the shows with the most recent 49ers news. And there was a piece of news that I felt like we should address. So we're gonna take a break from this exercise and address the news. I don't know if you guys saw it or heard it, but the 49ers will not exercise Solomon Thomas' fifth-year option.
Right.
That's big. That is big. That lets me know that John Lynch is saying I can get rid of this attachment. I think that is a huge step in the right direction. I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on that because I didn't want to just breeze over it and not discuss it. We definitely should have mentioned it at the top of the show. That's my bad. I messed that one up.
Well, it's clearly now it's all in the shoes of Solomon Thomas, and I think the fact that with them not exercising that fifth-year option is just a relief of it's just a relief. All right, so now Solomon could do what he needs to do. Solomon's going to have to go out there and prove himself because either he's going to prove himself to be a 49er or he's going to prove himself to be on another squad next season if he gets picked up and if he gets signed. So Solomon Thomas has a lot of work to do, man. It's a proving himself type season, and hopefully Solomon Thomas is mentally, physically ready to go at it. We did hear John Lynch say that he is excited to be using Solomon Thomas this season. We did hear him say that. We heard him say it, whether we believe him or not. He said it, so we could whatever. So we're gonna see what that comes down to come season. But this is really just saying, Solomon, this is on you, bro. Either you go out here, you ball out, or you don't.
We also heard him say that he was excited to bring back Marquise Goodwin and see what he could do for the Niners this season also. So
Well, there's conflicting reports on this because one guy tweeted out saying Matt Maiocco said it that they weren't picking up his option. And then Matt Maiocco tweeted right after that and said the fifth-year option for 49ers defensive tackle Solomon Thomas would be $12.321 million for the 21 2021 season. That's a non-starter, of course, but don't rule out the possibility that both sides would want to keep the union going for at least 5 seasons at a price that works for both sides.
Yeah.
It's not conflicting.
So
it's just,
No, we'll have that.
No, because the one report said that Matt Maiocco stated they weren't picking up the option.
But they're not.
Yeah.
They're not going to pick up the option. What they're going to try to do is, I think what that means, and I could be wrong, it's just the simple fact that maybe they can come to a different term or something like that for what he's worth, because he's not starting, right? He's not your starting defensive tackle, and he's not worth 12 point something million dollars. Like, this is what they're doing, guys. They're doing this with all the players, not players with just options. They're going back to the table. They did it with Quan, right? They did it with these players. They're going back to the table and they're saying, look, man, this is what you're worth, man. This is what we could pay you, man. Take it or leave it. But in good terms, in good words. So maybe, Nick, I'm hoping that's what Matt is saying. Like, hey, they might be able to come together and work out a different type of contract, because apparently Lynch don't want to let him go. Unless a deal comes in, you know what I'm saying? So maybe that's what it means. I don't know.
Go ahead, Tony. You were going to say something.
Yeah. So basically, what's going to happen is they're going to decline that option for 2021, which will make him a free agent after this season. So what they would do is, before free agency even starts, they would try to negotiate a deal to keep him around if they decide to, at a much lower rate than 12 point whatever million, because he's not worth that. He's not. He doesn't have that type of role to earn 12.4. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's not a starting 3 technique. He's not your starting strong side end. He is a rotational guy.
Can I ask you a question?
What's up?
Is the 12 point million because he went number 3? Because oh my God, Armstead's option was only like 5 million.
Well, wait till you see what Bosa's option is going to be.
God dang, like 19.
It's all based off of where you were drafted and the position you play.
Correct.
Okay. So, but being that Bosa's the end,
Yeah,
the top position. Okay,
and if I'm not mistaken, they also did it on a sliding salary for when the cap increases.
Correct.
And that's something else, Nick. Also, I know you were saying it's a lot more money for all these undrafted guys. That's part of it. Also, we have to remember that the guys at the bottom tier of the NFL were to get a lot more money this year. That was part of the CBA. That was a huge thing, and that's why Aaron Rodgers and the veterans were like, guys, it's not a good deal. I know you're looking at it like that now, because if you come in here for a little bit, you're going to get more money than what you would have, but it's not a good deal long term. Remember, the veterans were trying to talk the guys who may not make rosters out of voting, you know, for stuff like that. So that's another reason why the money is the way it is. Sorry to jump back and forth between it. All right. So any other thoughts on Solomon Thomas stuff?
No, there's one more transaction went down today. The team released Jacob Thinman, a safety that was signed to the practice squad at the end of last season, and he's a second-year player out of Purdue. They released him today, I guess, because of all the pieces that they added.
Yeah, man, it's coming down to spots and salaries right now, and cap. It's coming down to money. So yeah. All right, let's jump back into that rotation, man. That was getting fun, yo.
Hey, speaking of cap and money, real quick, I'm sorry to cut you off, Breezy. Did you guys see what the Niners' salary cap is? I know Nick had a tweet of it earlier. Did you guys see what it was after the rookie class and all that?
What is it?
It's 6.767 million.
That's how much money we have left?
We're ninth. We're in the top 10 of least cap space post-draft. And I don't know if that is with the money of Joe Staley retiring coming off and obviously going towards Trent Williams, as well as the Marquise Goodwin and Matt Breida numbers. But Albert Breer tweeted that today, so I'm not sure if it includes that or not.
I mean, going into the 2020-01 season, 2020-01, like how would that affect us much here, Sadie? Like nothing, right? I mean, we still got $6 million to work around with. If we needed to do something, if we needed to, there can still be cuts before the season, before June or July 1st or whatever, right? So, like, how would that affect us? Like, is that a big deal? Is what I'm asking.
I'll let one of you guys go first instead, but I do have a thought on that. It's a good question, Breezy.
It's pretty much hindering you to make any more moves because you only have $6 million left. So, like, I mean, in my opinion, I would try to keep it and not touch it as long as possible. I know Kittle's the whole thing with Kittle and his agent that possibly, you know, they might not step foot on the field until he gets an extension. But there's ways that they can work around that, even with $6 million available right now. But the interesting thing is, like, God forbid something happens and you like add a player like on the spot, you could do it because you have that little space left. I wouldn't leave yourself like high and dry.
Yeah, the least cap space is the Rams with 419,000.
Damn.
And then the
I know the Saints are in the top 10 also.
Yeah, so the top 10 is the Rams 419,169, Patriots at 1.077 mil, Falcons at 2.233 mil, Saints fourth at 3.855, Bucks with 4.364, Chiefs at 4.912, Seahawks with 5.257, Steelers with 5.768, the Niners with 6.767, and then the Panthers at 7.008. Those are the top or the least amount of space. The top team in the league is the Browns with 37.548 million.
But they should have some money. They stink. I got you. That makes sense.
A lot of that money too is like people who cut people. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So the Eagles were hurting really bad, and they're up to 23.54 million. They have the sixth most cap.
I know a lot of sites and people are tweeting out, oh, the Niners are going to have $60 million next year, so why couldn't they afford to keep Buckner and all that stuff? Remember this for a second, guys. Everybody in our secondary is gone. Everybody. So there's a reason why and that's just in the secondary. There's other defensive players in their last year of their contract. For example, Solomon Thomas. Now that they didn't exercise his 5th-year option, that's going to factor into it also. But if you want to keep those guys, it's going to cost you some of that same money that they're talking about. The Niners are going to have this plethora of. So it's not that simple. And with the chance of there not being any fans in stadiums this year, revenue is going to be affected, which means the salary cap might not grow as much as they think it's going to grow. I don't know if the NFL can. Well, we'll get sidetracked. But just keep that in mind when people are saying, "Oh, the Niners are going to be good next year. They're over $60 million." Yeah, but with no secondary.
Right.
It's $60 million without 2 other linemen. You know,
actually, it's going to be more because they're not. His option was allocated to that cap space next year, so it's going to be more.
Mm-hmm. And so I would look for some extensions to happen in the middle of the season. If Jimmy Garoppolo comes out and looks like an MVP, he's going to want more guaranteed money for the following year because that's where he's got the $2.5 million dead hit, right? So he wants some security. I don't want to be cut for only $2.5 million. So he might be willing to renegotiate and restructure some more money and all that. There's definitely ways that they can manipulate the cap, and we're going to keep an eye on that for all of you guys.
Awesome.
And shout out to Sean Shepard here. John Lynch has got an A in Stanford public speaking and motivating crappy players. He's the only GM I know that makes people feel good about being fired.
That's true, man. It's funny because that is John Lynch's main reason. The number one reason why he won't allow the 49ers to be on that show, Hard Knocks. He said, like, he doesn't believe and that people being fired and cut and all that type of stuff should be on live TV, man.
Should be used for ratings. Exactly.
Yeah, he feels like it's a sacred moment. It's a time where people need to reflect, and it's not a good situation, regardless of how well or easy or how great he lets people go or whatever like that. It's not a nice or decent moment that the whole world needs to see. And I respect John for that. As much as I want to see, we're on the East Coast. As much as I want to see the 49ers more on TV with cameras and stuff like that, I definitely respect his decision, him and Kyle's decision when it comes to the team. But let's get back to these undrafted free agents. I did want to touch a little bit on the guy you picked, Mike, before we just jump into whoever's pick is next, right? We talked about him replacing, coming in, Josh Hokett coming in, possibly replacing Juice at fullback. Juice at fullback is a special player, man. It'll be really hard to replace a guy that can give you so much. So I'm hoping with this kid, he has at least, 2 of those 10 characteristics Juice brings to the team, and then they can be built upon. That's all I'm asking.
No, he's definitely not the pass catcher that Juice is. I will give you that right off the bat. He can catch, but he's not the pass catcher that Juice is. However, he's a much better runner with the ball in his hands than Juice is, like 100 times better.
Right.
So, I'm talking about from a handoff perspective, not in open space or anything. I'm talking about from a handoff perspective. He is definitely a guy who can find the hole and hit it and explode through it, and that he's going to get that from that running back experience. You know.
Gotcha. All right, man. Who's up next?
I am. I'm gonna do
back to Tony now.
I'm gonna do Chase
Nick,
Harrell.
Hold on, wait. I saw the look, Nick. What was it? What do you want to say? You wanted to defend Juice a little bit? Come on, bro. Don't do that.
I think the only reason you like this guy is because he's got 11 touchdowns from the goal line, and you want a beast that just can run 1 yard. That's the only reason you like this dude.
No. That's not it. I have always been looking for another option at full. I just feel like we overpaid the fullback position. I've always thought, you know that, man.
He's not even making that much money now.
I'm happy for Juice, and I told you guys he's my favorite fullback ever now. I am completely happy.
I seriously don't think that this team moves on. I think Juice finishes out his career here.
I agree.
To be honest with you,
can we all admit, Nick, when Juice got the ball on that goal line and got rocked the shit out of, it just didn't feel right. And then they had to do another play, and then they ran another play and threw him the pass for the touchdown. Like Juice is just not your running back, right? Like he's a great.
But I think on that run, anybody would have been stuffed.
But it's just the way Juice got stuff didn't look right, bro. It just didn't feel like he was. I was just trying
to say, I think Mike is just looking for that dog of a running back for a short goal line or like just short yardage back, because that's what he's been on for the last 4 years. We need a short goal back. We need a short goal back. We need a short goal back. That's all he's ever said. It's not a matter of who it is back there. It's just we need somebody that can do short yardage goal. When we got somebody else in here, Mike's like, oh, that's our short yardage goal guy now. And he wasn't. He didn't even turn in to be that.
No, I said it was going to be Jeff Wilson.
Yeah.
Jeff Wilson is definitely that guy for us right now.
No, he's not. He was for those 3 weeks, and other than that, he didn't take a single snap behind center at goal line.
Call me crazy, but I think we see a much bigger role out of Jeff Wilson Jr. this year.
Right, but I'm saying last year he did for those 3 weeks, and then that was it. We didn't see him anymore, and then we all started saying, why the dude has 4 touchdowns in 3 weeks. Why aren't we giving the ball at the goal line?
After Jeff Wilson caught that touchdown pass, Kyle wanted to stash it. That was a secret he wanted to stash and keep hitting, yo. Because no one, not even including him, thought he was going to be able to catch. Not even Jimmy. Not like he didn't even think he was going to be able to catch that pass. Like that was so unbelievable. Kyle took that tape, burnt it for the whole other 31 teams, and put him back on hiatus, right? Because he had to wait for. I'm just telling you, man, he's going to be a problem in this offense, bro.
We'll see. If they thought that highly of him, they would have gave him a little bit more money. We'll see.
Good point.
All right, Tony. We're back to you, man. Enough of the sideshow shenanigans, which, by the way, that's what we're all about here, Nothing But Niners. So that's what we do, guys. But we're going to reel it back in. We're going to get back on track. Tony is up to bring us his next listed undrafted free agent, whichever one he wants to mention now.
I'm going to go with Chase Harrell from Arkansas. He's listed as a tight end / defensive end. And I think because all of his film, he played tight end. He went to Kansas for 3 years before he transferred to Arkansas. He's 6'4", 250 pounds. He had 25 receptions for 221 and 3 touchdowns at Kansas. Interesting thing. Coach Sarek put him through a defensive line workout at his pro day. But he played tight end his senior year at Arkansas. But just interesting. Like we all know how this team believes in numbers, like workout numbers. Besides your 40, this kid's got a 4.5 140 at 6'4", 250 pounds. 10.7 broad jump, 36-inch vertical.
That 3-cone too.
A 4.21 short shuttle, and a 6.76 3-cone.
All of that is in the 90th percentile of all tight ends in this draft.
My man is 250 pounds. That is like wide receiver number.
Moving, bro. He is moving out there.
250, you said?
250.
Yep, that's what I got. 249. Wow.
Yep, I got 6'4", 249. Yep.
You said he runs a what, Tony?
A 6.76 3-cone.
Isn't that Isn't that good?
That's great.
Beyond good.
You said you wanted under a 7, right? I remember that conversation.
Yeah, but 6'7" to 250 pounds. That's like you are like a freak athlete. Your feet are unreal. But here's the problem. This guy, they're gonna try to stash his ass and put him on the practice squad and let them work with them.
I think if they believe in him, I don't think they try to stash him. I think they learned from what happened last year with Caden Smith. They tried to stash him, and people knew the information about him. If you want him, you're gonna have to try to keep him.
Right, but he was a tight end, staying at a tight end. This guy's doing a position change that he's never played in his career in college. So this is like a projection, but from an athletic skill set, like from the athlete side of it, dude, you can't get a better player than that, and it's worth every dollar they paid him.
Yeah, I think they're going to bring him in here and just put him on the jugs machine to see if he can catch, because this guy, he only played in 3 games last year. He only had 3 receptions and 1 touchdown. Like there was nothing flashy about anything that he did last season to say, oh, the Niners have to get this guy and have to keep him, right? So it's what do they see? They see the numbers. When you're going with undrafted guys or your 6th and 7th round guys, you're looking at numbers and seeing if you can get something out of them that you haven't seen come from them before. This is how we ended up with Adrian Colbert. You know, he blew the numbers out the water. Oh, let's bring this guy in here and see what can happen with him. And so I think that's something similar that we're going to see here. Now, where they decide to play him, that's something different. I don't know how they're going to do it, but those numbers are all like for only like 90th percentile. Like that's
like I just thought it was interesting that Kocurek did the workout, not the tight end coach. That's what caught my eye. I was like, okay, because remember we said, you know, they're going to probably add an edge rusher. The original guy we wanted was Carter, that went Rondell Carter, that went from James Madison University, that got signed by Dallas. Dallas gave him $200,000, like $195,000, $200,000 guaranteed to sign with Dallas, and
that's not just the full. That's not the full contract. When we say these guaranteed numbers, that's just what's guaranteed.
Those are signing bonuses.
They're getting $2 or $3 million.
Yeah, they're signing bonuses. But the problem is we were in competition to land him. So if they're going that much money for an undrafted free agent, it's kind of like, well, why don't you just spend the 7th round pick on the damn guy? You know? But that was someone who I was a big fan of. I really wish we landed him, but we didn't. So I guess they went on this athletic skill set. We went with this guy, and it's just really interesting that Kocurek ran that workout. That screams something to me. But he's making a position change.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think he's going to play defensive line.
Okay, that's possible. Or what about this? What is Kocurek's thing? Explosion from the snap, right?
This is going to be your 9 technique.
Okay, we'll see.
Why? What do you think he's going to play?
I think that Kocurek's like bread and butter is when that ball is snapped, I want you to explode. I want you. Tight end coaches aren't teaching that. That's
that's the perfect spot for him, is a wide 9 edge rusher. You pin your
trust me. I understand what you're saying. I'm not saying that he won't do that, but I'm saying that Kocurek's specialty is explosion at the snap. You're looking at it from what position he coaches. What I'm saying is Kocurek's wants to know that as soon as you hear that ball snap, go. Like, boom, don't hesitate. Just get after it, right? And so if you can teach that in a tight end that is this athletic, and you can happen to get him with good hands, you might find another. I'm not going to say George Kittle, but you might find something really, really special there if they decide to keep him at that position. It's going to be a lot of fun to see where he lines up during the first preseason game. All right. Any other thoughts on him, man? I didn't mean to cut anybody off. I didn't want to cut anyone short either. No? All right, Nick, you're back up, man.
Go ahead and go to Breezy. I'll jump in after this. I'm going to put this stuff on the board so we have it up there.
All right, man. So I'm going offense on this player. I'm going to go running back out of Baylor, Jermichael Hasty. All right. I believe this is Mike's guy. Look, man, 5'9", 205, running back size, right? Dude rushed for 100. He had 109 attempts for 627 yards his senior season. He averaged 5.8 yards a carry with 7 TDs. Kind of reminds you of Coleman, right? Like on the 49ers. He kind of brings that because this dude, he pass blocks like none other. And another thing, he receives out of the backfield. All right. So 25 receptions, 184 yards, 7.4 yards a catch. All right. Now, here's the thing. He ran a 4.55 at the combine, right? His bench press was 15 reps, 39 vertical jump, almost 40. His broad was 123, and his 20-yard shuttle was 405. So let's talk about this kid, because we got two running backs that we got undrafted. We got Salvin Ahmed, and then Jermichael Hasty. Let's compare and contrast these guys. All right. So I believe Salvin Ahmed rushed more yards, had more attempts, but received less. And then Jermichael Hasty received for more yards, had more receptions, and such and such. So let's talk about these guys.
And this is why I think, and I understand. I understand the when you look at the pure numbers, why people would get excited about Ahmed, but I think Hasty is a lot of untapped potential, that's what I think it comes down to, and that's why I shut up, Niner. That's why I got really, really excited about him. Oh man, if he gets in the right system, and by the way, what system is better for a running back that can make one cut and move?
Yes, cut guys. Yep.
So that's where I'm going to shut up and let someone else speak.
It's not only that. I mean, this guy he's a legit weapon at all three, like pass catching, running, even pass protection, picking up a blitzer off the edge. He excels in all three aspects of the game. And like, you know, I read a report that Bobby Turner was on the phone with this guy probably at least like 5-6 times leading up to the draft. So they definitely had interest in him. They definitely saw what they saw, they loved, and they're bringing him in. And I got news for you. If McKinnon's knee's not good, this guy's making the roster.
Mm-hmm.
I really like this guy. He's very explosive.
Now he doesn't have the speed as McKinnon.
Yeah, but the thing is, number one, you don't know if McKinnon's ever going to return back to that speed with the issues with his knee. He might still be fast, but that type of speed that he had prior to it, I mean, I don't recall what his 40 time was coming out in the process, but the difference is like Jet's fast. He's fast on time speed and he's fast on game speed. This guy didn't time that fast, I believe, but his game speed is woof.
McKinnon had what, like a 4.41 or something like that?
I don't even know.
McKinnon had a 4.41. Yep. He was strong too. This dude bench pressed 32 reps, yo.
He's just like a bull.
His shuttle was 4.12 though. His 3-cone drill was 6.83. His broad jump was 132, and his vertical was 40.5. He was definitely an athlete.
40.5 is 100% explosion for a 5'8" person.
Whew.
But what was his 3-cone?
McKinnon's 3-cone? 3-cone was 6.83.
All right, now that's McKinnon. All right.
Right. I don't know if
Chase Harrell was faster at 250 pounds.
On the 3-cone, right?
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I like that kid, but I don't mean to go back to him, but I just wanted to show you. You said, you thought that was sub 7 was good. That is excellent what Harrell produced. Yeah, but listen, this kid, if like I said, if McKinnon's knee acts up, it doesn't hold up, and it requires more attention, medical attention, this kid's got a legit shot to make this roster.
I totally agree. And I think his name is pronounced Ahmed. That's what I was told. Not Ahmed. It's Ahmed. I spelled Ahmed. So I just want to make sure I get it right. So, and I see people are saying that someone said it was pronounced Ahmed, but it's spelled Ahmed. So if I pronounce it wrong, please forgive me. I do apologize. Wow, man, these are some guys. I told you, man, these are some guys. Let's keep going through these guys, man, because I definitely want to know who is the scrubs. Who you got, Nick?
All right, I'm trying to catch up on who you guys talked about so far. So we talked about Hockett. We talked about
both running backs.
Chase Harrell. We talked about
Mabin.
Jermichael Hasty.
Yeah.
We talked about
Fink.
Mabin. We talked about Fink.
Yeah.
You
have Griffith, AC, Rudder, Perkins, Daniels.
Oh, AC, yeah, Demarcus AC.
Mizzou. Talk about
he's got the body frame to be, to fit this type of scheme that we use. He is, I want to give you some numbers on him here real quick. 6'2", 195. Lockdown corner. Was a team captain, 4-year contributor, 3-year starter at one of the 2 cornerback spots. He represented SEC's annual media days in July as one of the team's leaders and top contributors. 15 tackles, 5 pass breakups over 10 games. Teams refused to throw his way all season. That was last year. He did miss. Mizzou only allowed just 165 yards per game through the air in the 2 games he missed with injury. So he finished his career with 35 starts over his 4 seasons, had 99 career tackles, 3 career interceptions, and 20 career pass breakups. When, like I said, when he was in the lineup, 165.9 yards passing. Teams just refused to throw his way in college. He had a season-high 4 tackles, all solo with a pass breakup against West Virginia. 3 tackles at Vanderbilt. Had a pass deflection in 3 consecutive games at Kentucky, Georgia, and Florida. 6'2", 195. I haven't watched a whole lot of tape on him yet because he was at the bottom of the list. But, from frame, his ability to play the corner position, this could be a guy that sneaks in, right? I don't think he sneaks in and plays this year. Obviously makes the 55. But he has that chance to go to, practice squad and the ability to come up. So what are your guys' thoughts on DeMarcus Acey?
According to draftnetwork.com, they said that this is the type of player that they felt had the most potential at the cornerback position. They said the theme with the cornerback group this year is that most of these prospects are undersized and projected nickel defenders. One of the exceptions is Mizzou's DeMarcus Acey, 6'2". He passes the eye test of the prototypical NFL press man corner. His play strength and length at the line of scrimmage makes life difficult for receivers to get a clean release. Sounds like Richard Sherman, right? Right. Big guy. Acey also has the speed to stay on top of the vertical routes, stride for stride. The problem is, and this is the red flag. Well, not a red flag, but just a little small problem. He often runs into his lack of hip fluidity and lateral movement skills. Acey's game is much more suited at the line of scrimmage or in zone coverage, opposed to off man. His height, weight, and speed specimen with good linear athleticism and ball skills, and if drafted by the right team, he has productive starter potential. I know we need to address the secondary next year, but are we possibly addressing it now with these undrafted free agents? And that could be, if this guy has a great camp or whatnot, this could be one of those guys.
So before you go, Tony, DVLZ Son says DeMarcus Acey, cornerback, 6'2", 195, 40 time was a 4.42. His arms are 31 1/8, hands are 8 1/4, and his wingspan is 76 1/8. Bro, I look at these guys anymore. If they don't got an 81-inch wingspan over 6 foot, I'm just laughing at them. Because my man Ayuk's got that 81-inch span, and he ain't even over 6 foot. So I look at these wingspans now, and I'm like, ain't shit.
So
like,
when you talk about the wingspan, Nick, what makes that super important on a team like this? Can someone pull up Richard Sherman's wingspan? And I'm not comparing him to Richard Sherman in any kind of way. I am when it comes to wingspans, because we know that Richard Sherman lacks what? Like that speed, like once the guy goes over the top. And this is a guy that lacks that speed as well. But I believe what helps make up some of the speed is the wingspan. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's one of those things where I could get my arm up, reach out, and break up a pass. Like, that's what wingspan helps. It covers the distance and speed and allows me to make up for it with a long reach.
It says the average wingspan of 75.5 inches for the NFL. Richard Sherman's is 78.
So this guy's wingspan is longer than Richard Sherman's, and we watch how his middle finger deflected the pass in the NFC Championship game against the 49ers. I'm sorry for bringing that up, but that's what wingspan does, mother suckers. It does stuff like that, okay?
Or if you're a receiver, just get the ball from anywhere.
Oh my God, right. Ayuk, who is 83, 4, whatever. It's just ridiculous.
81, yeah. Crazy.
So just real quick on AC, I think this is the perfect fit for AC. I think a cover 3 system for him will fit him to a T. I know he likes to play the press man, which we do at times, but I just think this fit for him, it's at 6'2", 195. He's got that 4.3 or 4.4 speed, with his wingspan, and his just being in his own system. And a cover 3 with the thirds, breaking down the thirds, I think it would fit him terrifically. Here's one thing. Potentially, this will be a sit and learn year. I could see them trying to maybe say he tore a ligament in his thumb and stash him on IR for the rest of the season. But if he does make the 53, he's going to be taking someone like a Dante Johnson spot, a Jason Verrett spot, just to keep him in our control. Because I think if you put him on the practice squad, he's gone.
Come on.
He's got way too much talent to be sitting on a practice squad.
Yeah, potential, man.
So with that being said, I know people will say, well, why didn't he get drafted? Well, there could be reasons why he didn't get drafted. Maybe he's not good in like a straight man system. Maybe he's not good in a cover 2 system. Like there's players that are systems fits. Like the receiver we took from Arizona State, we traded up for him. Everyone was like, oh, you could have got him there. I even said it. But you know what? His skill set fits this offense, where I guess Kyle didn't believe Judy didn't fit this offense. But this kid could fit. And I will say this, and don't go crazy when I say this.
Hey, Tony.
It could be potentially Tim Harris, Emmanuel Mosley, and this guy
starting next year.
Not starting, but being key contributors next year. Maybe they decide to bring back Sherman one more year. Maybe they did. Maybe Witherspoon wakes up and balls out this year. But right now, the way this team operates, they get guys a year or two in advance before they have to make their move and replace players that are free agents. It's all lining up right now. I understand he's only just a undrafted free agent, but guess what? So was Mosley. And he was our Super Bowl starting quarter.
Talk about it. And his wingspan only 76.5.
So it's just something to think of. And I know next year's corner class is going to be very deep. Allegedly, they're saying it already. But what? You're on mute. Oh, you can't get off? So just write on a piece of paper.
Don't let me.
Could you try to back out or no? Oh yeah, that's what I think about AC.
Nope, that's not the right way, Mike. There you go.
All right, I think I got it.
And
all right, so
man.
Could you hear Mike?
No. My whole screen, I had to move inside because it started pouring. And so when your screen gets wet, you touch it somewhere, like it doesn't read it. So I had to I was hoping it would dry it off. So I had to do all that. I'm sorry about that. Listen, this guy looked really stiff to me on tape. Really, really, really stiff. And I'm excited about him because of his natural ability, but he looks super stiff, guys. I just don't know. And I'm not going to name my scrubs, Breezy. I know you were trying to bait me in there. I'm not naming the scrubs, but I will say, I will say this. I like this guy's potential, but he has got to learn to be more fluid with his movement, because if he doesn't, he's going to get smoked in the NFL.
That's the weakness. I mean, and that's the problem, because I think they used him in a system where it showed his weakness. He didn't play in a zone system, a cover 3 or a cover 4 or cover 2. He played man press.
Yep.
And
was locked down though, Mike. Like not too many.
There was games, Mike, where he did shut people down. And not consistently, but there's games where he made some nice plays on the ball, but then there's plays where he got thrown an interception as a gift because it sailed way over the guy's head. But that's beyond the point. But when you're dealing with an undrafted free agent, you have to take his natural skill set, and then you have to take him and mold him for your system. You're not investing a draft pick on him. You're taking him in off just as off as his talent. So that's why I think this guy could have a chance. I mean, I wish Joe Woods was here to work with him, but we have Tony Oden, who is a very good DB coach. So we're going to see when they get their hands on him. God willing, it's soon.
I will say this about this guy, man. I don't think he contributes to the Niners this season. If he can somehow make this roster, I think next season is when we as fans will start to like him as a corner. Exactly. I want to make sure I'm clear with what my words are here. This season, don't expect anything from him from a defensive standpoint. He's got to show
special
something.
Teams, strictly special teams.
Right. He's got to show something. And I know you can say that about all undrafted free agents, right? But
that's how they make the roster, majority of them. Mosley started as a special teamer.
Yeah, but he's got to show something, because if he doesn't improve in that in how he moves, he's not going to make this team. He's not. I don't care how like they're going to work with him on like agility drills or fluidity drills, I should say. They're going to work with him a lot on that. And if he doesn't get it right, if he doesn't show improvement, he might not make this. He might not make the practice squad. I don't think he's going to make the 55, but he has a shot to make the practice squad if he can show something. It's just a big if, because like you said, the system that he played in did not do a good job of, showing his full abilities. But that goes with so many players, right? How many guys were just flat out in the wrong system on the offensive side, the defensive side? So many players, you know what I mean? You think of, okay. All right, I got a good example for you. Nnamdi Asomugha. You're laughing because you know exactly what I'm talking 100%. About, right? 100%. You took Nnamdi out of the system that he was in before, and it was like, who the hell is this guy? This is not who we just signed.
He left Philly.
Good to you
and he went to Oakland.
What was that?
No, he went. What was it? He went from Oakland to Philly. Couldn't cover his soul.
Right.
Then he went to the Niners and just got smoked.
Exactly. And so if this guy is not in the right system, man, oh man, it's going to be game over. It's going to be game over. So because as much good film as there is out there on this guy, there's that much or more bad film on him.
And
also.
It just goes to show you, like, again, like shout out to our administration. They have the ability to see the player's strengths, and then they go off of that and they mold them to their skill set. I mean, their system. They take their skill set, they see what their strengths are, and they work with them to transition to our system, our cover 3, cover 4, cover 2, our man, whatever it is. So you got to give them credit for identifying and being able to see these players, what they have down deep as a natural skill set, rather than what is taught to them, so they can try to learn that skill set.
Right. And so that's all I was going with there. But Breezy, man, you're not gonna get me to name any scrubs. So that was Nick's guy. It's on Breezy now, if I'm not mistaken. Right?
No, I already went. Me? It's on you, bro.
I thought we did Tony, Nick, you, and then me.
No, I went to Nick, skipped me, and then we went back to Nick.
Oh, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Skipped
all
Nick,
right.
Went to you, then back. Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna go with the guy that I'm actually really excited about. He is a Division III player. All right. Here we go. This is my guy, man. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I know it was Division III, and it's hard not to get excited, but he was lighting it up. This is quarterback from North Central Illinois. Okay, Brock Rudder. No K. I saw a lot of sites typing his name up with the K in there. That ain't how they had him listed on his school website. Brock Rudder, 6'2", 204-pound quarterback. This guy completed 309 passes, 71%. I'm only talking last year, because if you look at his numbers as a whole, his career numbers, they're that much more impressive. But let me tell you, 71% completion percentage for this guy. And can you guys hear me? Am I still there?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry about that. My screen did something weird over there. Shut up, Nick. Don't you blame my stuff. 45, almost 4,600 yards, man. 4,591 yards. Listen to this. 56 touchdowns. Again, it's only Division III. It's hard not to get excited about that, but you see guys like Carson Wentz coming from Division II and making a way in the NFL. Now Philly's trying to get rid of him. Maybe they don't have what it takes. He's not quite the height that you want for a quarterback. You want to get a 6'3", 6'4" guy and all that stuff. But let me tell you, man, he was a Division 3 monster. All right. He lit it up in Division 3. I'm really, really, really excited about this guy. I think he's gonna fight for a backup quarterback position this season. Those are my thoughts on him. I want to hear from you guys. I'm gonna shut up.
Especially with those two as unrestricted free agents next year.
Well, the one thing I like about Rudder is he's a leader, and the guys love him in the locker room. I mean, if you watch him behind the scenes, this kid takes a group of young men and he leads them like he is the general. And man, and I'm gonna go back and watch more film on him, but from what I can see, dude is a baller. And if you just look at his stats, I mean, Division 1, 2, 3 doesn't matter. Like to be able to produce. Remember, we talked on the show. We said it doesn't matter what school you go to, whatever, blah blah blah. It matters like how you produce. So if you go to, if you're playing in a whack position, but whack division or whatever like that, like the mountain division or whatever, whatnot. but you produce like better than anyone else. Now here's my thing. A few years ago, I'm not gonna mention no names. We drafted a QB out of that division. And he had the best numbers in college football out of that division.
I'm going to shut
up and let Nick talk for the rest of the show because he knows exactly where I'm going with this. So Nick, go ahead and high five.
We had that guy on our show.
Oops.
And he, put up all these numbers. Tons of great numbers, was, a ton of accommodations and things like that he won and all these other things. And where's he at? He's not even in the NFL right now.
And I know everybody's different, Nick, but you got to think. But they brought him in. I mean, they brought him in. This is the guy they signed on the one of the undrafted free agents, and they brought him in. And who knows if this guy could go out and show command on that practice field with the second squad, the third squad, or whatever it is, better than those guys that we already have. This might be our backup guy going into 2022.
This guy, and I'm going to give you a perfect example. You need to take his film, not his film. You need to take his statistics and throw them out the window. When you're playing at a D3 level, you need to look at several things. A, his release, his mechanics, his feet, his footwork, ball placement, release.
Yeah. And
his ability to move the pocket and still be able to make an accurate throw while moving, while rolling right, while rolling left.
Hold on. Are you saying he can't do those things?
No, I didn't say that.
No, he's saying take the stats out and look at the mechanics.
When you're dealing with a D3 quarterback, this is the things you got to throw the statistics out because they're padded. So, go ahead.
No, so when you did that, when you watched him and you looked at those things and those traits, what did you see?
I seen something really good. I'm going to be honest with you, but I'm going to be honest with you. And I sent you guys that text message and I told you what time frame to look at. It was like at the 2:35 mark. I watched 3 clips of him. One was a championship game. One was just a regular game. And one was I guess it was a regular game. But the one where he was in the championship game for the D3, he made a throw on the move, threaded it between 3 defenders. A throw that if he didn't hit that on the right angle, on the right release, too high, too low, too inside, it was done. He put that ball between 3 guys, and it was it was like a rope. It wasn't. You just got to watch him. And I'm not saying he's going to replace Jimmy Garoppolo. By all means, I'm not. But when you have 2 backups that are free agents going into 2021, you need to start making your adjustments. You need to start finding the people. So I'm going to be honest with you. If this kid shows anything in preseason, this kid's making his roster. And I bet you one of them will get moved.
We already heard the rumors that they were shopping Nick Mullins and things like that. It's going to be a while before he gets moved. If he gets moved, we don't know what's going to happen with Beathard. But another thing is this. I watched this guy and the yards after the catch for a lot of his stuff. I get excited with what he can do with better weapons. I know I shouldn't say that, right? But I feel Go ahead, Tony.
It's funny that you say that because his one receiver set NCAA records for D3 with targets, receptions, yardage, and touchdowns. The guy had way over 100 catches. Like, now, if you know that, and if a defense knows that, and this guy's still threading that ball to him, and they're trying to take away their number one option, that says something. I know it's D3 level, but it's a skill set. It's his mechanics, it's his footwork, it's his brain, it's his IQ, it's his ability to see and make a decision on the fly and adjust and go to a second read. The one negative, though, I will tell you is they ran a lot of that RPO out of the pistol. So by them doing that a lot, it would freeze the second level of the defense and there would be an opening. But I'm telling you, those two throws in that championship game were NFL throws. I'm not saying like, Hall of Fame throws, but NFL caliber quarterback type of throw.
And I see the question here on the screen. Who would you compare Rudder to? I don't have an answer for you. I'll
tell you where someone made a comparison. And after watching him, it was pretty damn good. Jeff Garcia. At first, I was like, nah, what is this guy smoking? And then I looked at it. I was like, holy shit. He's not as wild as Jeff Garcia. Because remember when Jeff Garcia used to scramble, his arms were going this way, he's throwing this way. But you could see like the playmaking ability, the spread to extend the play if he had to. I
think he's got, all right, I might be crazy. I think he's got better composure than Jeff Garcia.
Yeah. No, he does. You're right. I'll give you that. But as far as like moving the pocket and making that throw on a dime, like a split dime on the move, I swear to God, I looked at it, I started laughing. I said, this guy's fucking right. Like, and it's going to be interesting when we get hopefully we can get our guest on. I want to ask him about him.
Yeah. Let's see what's going on with all that. So that was going to be my guy. I'm going to stop here because I'm gushing over here like a little schoolgirl. So I'm going to stop and I apologize. Back to being professionalism and all that stuff. I apologize. So whoever's next, you guys take it away, man. But that's my guy right there, man. Brock Rudder, Division III monster.
I think we only have 3 guys left. So it's back to Tony.
I just shut my computer off. Who's left? Is Daniels left?
You got
DT, right?
You got Daniels out of Nebraska. Yep.
All right, I'm gonna take him. He was a true nose guard. One technique. He's 6'3". I think he's 315 off the top of my head. He was a transfer from Oklahoma State, came to Nebraska, played his last season of eligibility at Nebraska. He was stuck behind a lot of guys. The Khalif Davis, which I like, and then the Carlos Davis, and then there was him. So they pretty much had like a 3-man rotation on the interior. Team leader, hard worker. We'll get in guys' faces when he needs to. We'll pick them up when he needs to. He's strong, violent hands, when he hits you, when he punches you in the chest, to disengage, from all the scouting reports I read, you feel it. He disengages, he makes plays, just not to the level of like, okay, let's take him in the 3rd round, let's take him in the 4th round. Because of the rotation, he was a little inconsistent. The motor was a little on and off. But listen, you're taking a shot at him. But as far as the type of person, this is a guy that you want in your locker room from what I was reading. I'm not going to sit there and say I watched every game of his, but everything I read was positive, good teammate, hard worker, film guy, weight room guy, a perfect candidate to be a practice squad player or sneak on the bottom of the round. But we have such an influx of depth on defensive tackle. It's kind of like, okay, where's he going to play? You have your DJ Jones, you have your Julian Taylor, you have your Givens, you have we just drafted Kinlaw, we have Armstead who could slide in. And I'm just going off the top. We signed a Ray Guy. We signed Henry Fields from Baltimore who played at Michigan. So there's a lot of moving pieces there. But I tell you what, maybe he shows up. He outperforms a couple people. Another question, Contavious Street, is his knee going to hold up? So you never know. But he's another guy that got paid $100,000 to come to the 49ers. They had to see something on film.
105 guaranteed. I think his contract is worth like
$105?
$9 million or something like that. So he's got to stay healthy though, man. He didn't have eye gouging numbers, only 14 solo tackles, 13 assists, 1.5 tackles for loss, and that includes the half a sack. So we have to see what this guy can bring to the table when he's going. And that was just his numbers from last year. You look at this stuff from the previous years. He's got some explosion when he's healthy, man. He looks like he can be a good disturbance there in the middle. I like him. I like him in the run game more than anything, honestly.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, Nick, we got 2 more guys. You got Jonah Griffith, linebacker out of Indiana State, or you can have Ronell Perkins, safety out of Missouri. Which one you
want? Let's go with Ronell Perkins.
Okay.
Strong safety. I forget what his measurements are. 6 foot, weight 191.
I got him at 190. I got him at 220. No.
I got him at 205.
205, yeah.
Yeah, on his the NFL Draft Scout has him at 191. 4.73 40 was his high was a 4.63. His low was a 4.53, and his high, 4.53 was his low. His 40 time was a 4.63, and his high was a 4.73. Doesn't have much on his cone stuff, so I'm not going to go into all that. Came from Missouri. I'm just trying to get a little more on him. He's another guy that I didn't watch. I didn't watch either one of these guys, so I don't want to talk on him too much. But
there's not much to say, Nick.
Yeah.
He got 17 receptions. 17 tackles, 2 interceptions in 2019. I mean, those were his stats. There's not really much to say.
Right. He played in the 9 games last year. Now he was in 2016. He did make the SEC all freshman team. Okay. You can take that for what it's worth. That's a little accolade for him. But he is the second Missouri guy that we signed. They were watching film on this team and looking for somebody to find that they could pluck that they felt maybe could contribute later on. I'd be interested to pay attention to him. I don't know what position you guys have him listed as, but I've got defensive back / outside linebacker.
So check this out. I got safety / wide receiver.
Yeah, I just have strong safety.
So I know he didn't. I don't know if he didn't participate at the combine, if I'm not mistaken. So I wonder how fast he runs. I wonder what his measurements are. I wonder what all those things are. Matter of fact, the last 2 guys we're going to talk about, like, they really don't have much on them, because they didn't play due to injury or whatever it was. So with Ronell Perkins, Mike brought up a great point. This is the second guy in their secondary that they saw something on film. We don't know what games they watched because we're going to try to figure it out. But this is the second secondary player that they saw something on film that they wanted to address, and they picked 2. They picked the safety and they picked the defensive back. So we'll definitely be looking for more things to break down when it comes to Ronell Perkins out of Mizzou, and hopefully we can, once camp starts, we'll get a good clear insight on who he is and what he is. But those were his stats, so that's all I saw.
Yeah, I didn't see much on him. I didn't watch much tape on him, so.
Go ahead, Tony.
Fellas, I gotta run. My son's freaking out upstairs. I gotta put him to bed.
Okay.
All right, brother.
Later, guys.
See ya.
Did we discuss Jared Maiden already?
Yeah, that was my first guy. That was my first guy, bro. Come on, man.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I was trying to delete them as this was all going on, make sure I didn't repeat anybody. But that means you got the last guy here, Breezy.
So how about we all share this guy? Because honestly, like was this one of the guys that no, I have him on my list, but I'm not finding much on Jonas Griffith. If I'm saying his name right.
Yeah.
I see that he's listed as a linebacker, but every time I look him up, I'm getting rushing. So was he a running back? Fullback?
No, I got him as a linebacker from Indiana also, coming in at 6'4", 250 pounds. It's interesting when I watch him, you guys are going to think I'm crazy. I see a lot of Michael Wilhoit in this guy. He's not the guy that's going to get to the ball carrier first, but if you're having problems bringing him down, he's going to be right there. And that's also evident in his stats. He had 15 solo tackles, but he had 29 assisted tackles. So he's not going to be the first guy there. He's not the fastest guy to get to the ball. But if I'm going to just make up a scenario, Fred Warner pops a guy and is struggling to bring him down, he's there for cleanup right away. He's just a hair behind with his reaction time. He needs to work on his I don't know if he's overcommitting to something and then reacting after it's not what he sees, but he's got to be a little bit more patient so he's making the right decisions. He doesn't mind getting dirty. When he goes in there to make a hit or make a play, he has no problem doing that, but he's got to be committed, or he's got to make the right decision first. If they can coach that into him, he could have some excitement about him, man. Jonas Griffith, Indiana linebacker. Those are my notes that I have on him.
Yeah. Do you have any injuries on this kid?
No, I didn't go that far into him. I'll be honest with you. I didn't look that far into him.
All right. I just wanted to know if there was something recent like that I didn't notice or something like that.
You want to know why his numbers are so low, right?
Yeah.
Let me see if I still have the screen pulled up where I had his information here. Give me a second. Let me see if I can find it.
Yes, I mean, I'm sitting here like researching this kid. I'll probably find film on him to where I could watch, but when it comes to stats, man, nothing much was popping up when it came to Jonas Griffith. Definitely plays linebacker position. And it will be tough. I think it would. Let's talk about him making this team. How about we do that? How hard or how difficult? I don't like to say the word hard. Pause. How difficult would it be for this linebacker to make this linebacking core on this team?
It's going to be damn hard. I think we have some really, really good linebackers. I think we have some good depth at linebacker also, but that's my opinion. What are you thinking on it?
Yeah, I mean, the linebacker position is pretty – I mean, we talked about this the other night on a show. What was the weakest and strongest position on this team? And I think I said that the strongest was the running backs, but I think there was somebody else who mentioned that the linebacking position on this team is the strongest. Whether it be, you have Aziz Al-Shaair, Dre Greenlaw, Fred Warner, and the block is hot.
And we got the guy from Arizona.
And then you bring in the guy from Arizona, and then you draft, undrafted guys, 2 linebackers, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
A guy they're going to move to linebacker. I think linebacker on this team is good for the next 4 years, at least the minimum, right? Obviously, that's debating whether or not injuries and things like that. But I think I think the easiest position to make on this team right now is going to be corner. I think that is going to be, and you could throw a receiver in there, but that Brandon Ayuk's going to fill in. He's going to pretty much make this team. You figure Kendrick Bourne will still be here for a year, at least. Jalen Hurd is healthy and running again, so we're not sure what's going to happen with him, but he is healthy. Then, Jawan Jennings, another guy. So I would say that the easiest position to make on this team right now is going to be corner, and that's obviously because everybody's going to be a free agent next year. Get yourself into this playbook and system and things like that and learn. But I think linebacker is going to be a hard position to make this year. And I think there's only going to be like one spot, possibly 2 for running back. So, I don't know. I think if you're a linebacker and you're coming in, I think it's going to be really, really hard to make this team, no matter who you are.
I agree.
So I'm looking up his stats here. I was trying to find out how many games he played at each position. I have defensive stats for this guy as a linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
I have rushing stats for this guy last year.
I told you. That's what I said.
And I have receiving stats for this guy. It's really strange. But if you look at his rushing stats, it says he only played in 7 games.
Right.
So maybe there was an injury that, cost him some significant time there. So I have to do some more research on him. Let me see if I can find out if he had any injuries really quick. I'm just going to type in his name and type in injuries. Here we go. Injury.
Well, I think Dre said he told us the stats already. I'm going to go back and look for him. He said Jonas Griffith has 300 and here they go. Jonas Griffith has 382 career tackles, 14 sacks, and he graduated early with honors.
That's impressive.
If that's the same cat, I hope that's the same cat. Because he spelled his name different. Is it Griffith?
No, but yeah, no, that's the only Jonas that we drafted. So yeah, that's him. I looked up injuries.
Is it Griffith or Griffin? That's
Griffith.
my question.
Griffith with the
right.
H.
Right. So I just want to make sure we're looking up the right guy. All right. So yeah.
So he did. It says here Jonas Griffith, depending on what his status of his injured left knee turns out to be.
See,
so he does have a bad left knee, but I don't know what the extent of it was. So
I thought I seen somebody comment earlier that it was an ACL, but I'm not. Don't quote me on that. So
his 40 time was 4.67 and 4.86. Those I guess were his 2 times.
He's got a big wingspan.
He's got a big wingspan, though. He could, if you can get him to wrap and tackle, he should be good to go.
I cannot wait to do this 55 projection.
Oh my God!
You know, we always bring you guys one of those before the season even starts.
You're gonna
we bring you another one once training camp gets going, and then obviously we bring you another one before the season actually starts. I'm ready to dig into this 55 already. Like, just try to guess.
I can't right now, bro. I'll get a headache.
No, not right this second. I'm saying, like, I'm gonna start digging in, ready for a show to do the 55 because I just want to see where everybody's head is at, like what positions we carry. And then, you know, obviously, like I said, I think linebacker is one of the harder spots to make this team. You know, because another thing that we look for there is speed. But yeah, it'll be interesting to do this 55.
Now, remember, the 2 extra spots on the 55 have to be offensive linemen. Is that why we might have drafted another offensive lineman when we just signed Trent Williams? Why there's too many goddamn Trents. Okay.
I still don't quite understand this 2 more offensive lineman rule. Like, doesn't that means that they have to
one of them has to be an offensive lineman.
Oh, one of them has to be.
But what I'm saying is, if I think I said this before, if the Niners always carried 6, but the Patriots, this is true, always carried 7 or 8, are you forcing the Patriots to carry 9 and the Niners only have to carry 7? You get what I'm saying? Like, they should just say how many offensive linemen.
I think it said a maximum of 8. It said a maximum of 8. So if you decide to carry and make active on game day 48 instead of the 47, which it used to be 46, that 48th person has to be an additional lineman. It can't be
you can't bring in another wide receiver or something.
Right, you can't bring a skill player. So if you're only you don't have to activate 48. You can activate 47. If you activate 47, it can be a skill player. If you go to 48, it has to be an offensive lineman. So you can't activate 2 additional skill players compared to what you used to do before. So it's one or the other. If you go 48, well, one of each. If you go 47, it can be one of any. So that's what it is.
Gotcha. Okay, good explanation there because I was not aware of that. Good job, man.
Yeah. So, which will be interesting, and I don't think that's another reason we drafted an offensive tackle because I think he's going to play guard. To be honest with you, and he was somebody that Kyle Shanahan himself said that they liked him in a different spot, but then they got the Trent Williams, and then they were happy to get him where they got him. So if the Trent Williams trade didn't go through, they were taking him in that, earlier round instead. At where we take him at 6th or 5th? We took him 6th round.
Who was that?
Colton. We took him in the 6th round.
Yeah, 6th round pick.
So he would have been the 5th round pick if the trade didn't go through.
Correct, because he was our 5th round pick. I mean, he was our 5th round pick. So correct.
Wait. I thought he was willing to take him in the 4th, but we didn't. We gave up the 4th round pick, so we got him in the 5th.
We trade him in the 5th. We didn't have a 4th round pick, so we had a 5th round pick.
No, we did have a 4th. We traded up, and you okay?
Oh we did.
To trade up.
Yeah,
right.
But that was
saying that we would have took him at that 5th spot instead of giving that 5th round up for Trent
to the Raiders.
You
know what I mean? I mean to the Redskins. Sorry.
Yeah, we would have took him at that 5 spot, but we got Trent Williams, so then we took him in the 6th, and we ended up taking whatchamacallit in the
Jawan Jennings in the 7th. But yes, that's correct. That is correct. So I'm just going through some of our notes because I know we're about to wrap it up, right? So, dude, this Chase Harrell guy, he only played tight end for 1 year. You mean to tell me he was defensive end his whole collegiate career? That's why he worked out with Kosaric, bro. And the fact that he was able to transition over into tight, like he played 1 year and he that's probably why his stats were so low with the 3 receptions, 34 yards, 1 TD. He's probably learning the position. We didn't really talk about that. But can you imagine if he's able to transition and learn a position that quickly, be able to switch from defensive end? It's not easy in college. High school, easy. College, difficult. And if he's able to, can you imagine a defensive end playing tight end in the NFL? Can you imagine the cerebral of how he sees players on the edge, because that's where he plays, and then how he can probably switch that off and play tight end because he knows how an edge is going to come at him? Do you understand the versatility and the players that Kyle Shanahan is looking for? Yo, we had 6 picks in this draft, y'all. 6. We started with 7. We ended with 6. And we ended up getting some. I'm telling you, I'm going back through this list, and I don't know who I would call scrubs other than probably Perkins. I'm gonna say it, Ronell Perkins, and I know we're gonna have him on the show at some point. Sorry, I just got scrub stats, and possibly Darian Daniels. Those would be my only 2 scrub list candidates. But listen, there's some studs on this practice, on this, not the practice squad. There's some studs we got in the undrafted portion of the draft, yo.
Colton was taken 153 overall, so it was the 5th round.
Yeah, that's what we said.
Yeah. So
I don't think
Mike was right. We would have took him in the 4th. But we traded that 4th away to move up to get Brandon Ayuk, and then we took Colton in the 5th. Because he was still there.
But would we have taken him in the 4th if we didn't trade up? See, like that's my point.
Well, that's what Kyle said. Kyle said he was going to take him in the 4th.
Oh, that's what he said. Oh, okay. I didn't hear him say that.
4th round pick.
Okay.
So they had to move up to get Brandon Ayuk.
Right. When the wide receivers started coming off the board. Right. I got you.
It's funny, though. The Niners went into this draft with certain picks, and we didn't pick in a single spot that we were neglected to.
Yo, not 13, not 31, not 156, not 176, not 210, not 217, and not 245. That's amazing.
Didn't pick in any of those spots. That's crazy.
Effed up all of our mock drafts.
And on top of that, we got a Pro Bowl offensive lineman. We moved up spots to take a receiver. We dropped down spots to pick up Javon Kinlaw. We traded up spots for Marquise Goodwin, got additional spot for Marquise Goodwin, and then we added a 5th for Matt Breida.
Yeah, that's crazy. How we got McKivitz. Now let me go ahead, Mike.
John Lynch was playing Madden. I've said it once before. I'll say it again. I'm not gonna cut you off. You got it. But John Lynch was playing Madden, bro. He was straight playing Madden.
I just wanted to paint the picture of the whole scenario of the 2020 NFL draft. And just for those that I know many of you already know it. I know we talk about it a lot on our own individual accounts. I know you've heard John talk about it, but let's just break this down from draft pick, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 rounds in the draft. All right. Now let's just talk about what we acquired in the 2020 draft. We might have got some of this stuff in the future. We got some of it stuff prior to the draft. But let's just talk about it. So our 1st round pick was Javon Kinlaw, right? It was Javon Kinlaw and it was Brandon Ayuk. Our 2nd round pick, correct me if I'm wrong, is D Ford. I don't think people are talking about his Pro Bowl status either. Okay, so that's another Pro Bowl player, all pro player, especially when healthy, right? He makes that defense full, right? Our 3rd round pick was Emmanuel Sanders, right? So that would be the one thing you could probably say we lost because we didn't have an additional 3rd round pick. Our 4th round pick goes back to Brandon Ayuk, right? Our 5th round pick goes to Trent Oh, I'm sorry, Mike. Go. My bad.
No, I was going to say we also had a fourth. We gave up a third and a fourth
right
for Emmanuel Sanders.
For Emmanuel Sanders. I'm sorry. So the third and the fourth goes to Emmanuel Sanders. But remember, in 2021, we get a third back. Okay. Now, with that, our fifth round pick, guys. And our third round pick in 2021 was traded for Trent Williams. I will arguably say, when playing, he's the best left tackle in football. I love my man Joe. He's my guy. I drink Pepsi because of him. But Trent Williams is the best left tackle in football. Now, that was our fifth round pick. Our sixth round pick, we got another tackle. And our seventh round pick, we drafted Jawan Jennings. Guys, I just don't understand how we're not looking at this as a big picture. And when John said in his interview that I feel like we can win now and we can win later. Like that's it. That's the mentality that you want your general manager attacking the draft, because like Nick said, we didn't draft in one projected spot we were supposed to draft in, and we probably didn't even pick one of the projected players we thought we were going to get. That was projected by all the experts, including the Nothing But Niners crew, that we were supposed to draft, right? That is beast mode, like 8.0, bro. That's crazy. We got two tackles in the fifth round. Two possibly starting, one starting and one possible. We got a monster in the fifth round, yo. Sixth round, whatever you want to call it. Two.
Fifth round, yeah. It was a fifth round.
It's amazing.
And the other thing is if Trent Williams does not re-sign or restructure and sign with us, we'll get a third back also.
Will you talk about that? And it's
so
win now.
You essentially give up a fifth this year for a rental if he doesn't come back. If he comes back, then that third, obviously, you're not getting back, but you're getting a guy for more than 3 years.
That's your win now mode.
Yeah.
And if possibly he doesn't resign, you get a piece back that you can try to continue to win.
Right. So next year you'll get a third back for Emmanuel, and you probably have to wait the following year
to get the third back from Trent.
The third back, but you get that compensation back. So essentially you just give up, like I said, that fifth round pick for a Pro Bowl left tackle.
That was cheaper than what Joe Staley was going to be anyway. That's assuming you don't rework him. His contract is cheaper than what Joe Staley's was. Like, bro, it's a win-win.
I thought he was a little more.
Nope. He was cheaper. Joe Staley was supposed to be getting 14. He's getting 12. He was cheaper. Cheaper than Joe Staley. Younger than Joe Staley. I mean, I got 49ers on my Twitter handle like Breezy. I don't know why he said Trent was better than Joe, but I'm inclined to agree with you. I just
well, you got to look. That's nothing against Joe Staley, but health-wise, we saw a decline in Joe Staley, right? So, you're bringing in another Pro Bowl player who obviously has fresher legs, didn't play last year, and that's to be seen. But focusing on the two as a player, I mean, I think there's more you can do with Trent Williams than you could do with Joe Staley because of how Joe Staley was declining. The neck injury, the broken bones, like just the physicality of going downward. That's not taking anything away from Joe Staley. I think Joe Staley is a Hall of Fame player.
Absolutely.
Don't get me wrong. But we upgraded, and that's facts is facts. Like, we definitely upgraded. And man, I can't wait to see Trent Williams out in front with George Kittle downfield blocking too.
And he'll finally be wearing the right red too. Ugh.
Yeah, not that maroon shit.
Ugh. Man. Wow. So I just wanted to bring that to hindsight. Just for all of you guys that just are, we didn't draft this guy. We didn't get this wide receiver. We didn't do this. We didn't do that. Why didn't we take Tristan Wirfs? We were right there. Well, it was probably because this was the plan all along.
Well, yeah, Kyle Shanahan said that. John Lynch said that. I mean, he said, you have Trent Wirfs sitting right there for you, but we were working the phone, and we just took that chance of it going through. We didn't know if it was going to go through. We were hoping that it went through, and that's why we went defensive tackle there, because it was an option to go offensive tackle. But they were working numbers and shit with Washington, and then they said sometimes you just have to take that chance, and that's the things that we took, as in, okay, we're just going to move forward. We're going to take a defensive tackle here of what we want and pray that we get Trent Williams, and then they ended up getting Trent Williams. So
yeah, he said that they started talks with Ron Rivera. I noticed he said him specific because we know, on Monday, the Monday before the draft, he said we started our talks with Ron Rivera, which is so interesting because Kyle said our backup plan was the guy that we ended up drafting. So I thought that was amazing. I think that is phenomenal faith and trust. And you know what, man? It's also the willingness to not be outbid. You can't tell me that they didn't get another offer for Trent Williams that involved the fifth and a future fourth or future fifth. All right, what's the offer you got? We will beat it. Tell me what it is. Well, right now we have 2 fifths for him this year. All right, we'll give you a fifth and a third next year. You're going to take that. You're going to take that because it's higher. You know what I'm saying? So that is showing great discipline by this team. And like you said, faith and trusting in the system. They knew Joe Staley wasn't coming back a long time ago. They knew it. And they did not panic. You don't let players dictate your board. You get your board, you set your board, and you stick to it. This is like the 3rd year in a row I am yelling this on this screen, and it's so true, man. And I love this regime, man. I freaking love it, man. I really, really do. I'm done. Let me shut up. I'm gushing again.
I saw that someone said that we should do a live show where we break down the film on a player. I'm definitely down to do that if Mike is willing to host, because I would probably be using the green screen. Nick will probably be using the green screen, and it won't allow. And we just need to share the screen option, but we can definitely do something like that.
Yeah, that's something I'm going to try to bring this year, is to get somebody to do shows doing film breakdown as well.
I'm ordering a new laptop. I don't know if you guys remember that little hiccup I had when I was outside the other night. My laptop won't read my microphone or my camera now. It's weird. It's only when I'm online, though. I can take a picture with my camera. I can do the microphone stuff. But when I go to open up the web browser, I wonder if I should try a different web browser.
We were having that issue with the draft, too, because remember, it wasn't switching on or off. Remember, it wasn't switching?
Mm-hmm. So I gotta try to figure but it's all Google Chrome issues. Maybe I should clear out Google Chrome. If anybody out there is tech savvy, let me know what recommendation you guys think I should do, because when I open up the camera app on the laptop, it works just fine. Videos and pictures. So for whatever reason, Chrome won't keep it open. So I don't know what that means. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, man, I'm with it, man.
This was Mike's guy. Yeah, we mentioned him in the beginning of the show, Josh Hockett. So Jose, appreciate the contribution. But that was earlier in the show. Mike, if you want to do one last touch on him for him,
no, this is the guy that
replacement.
Yeah, this is the running back / linebacker guy I got excited about. I think that the team is going to try to make him a fullback. You guys said that he was listed as a fullback on a couple of different sites, and the draft experts had him listed as a fullback. Just more running ability, and also not afraid to get his nose dirty. He's someone that, if you're playing linebacker, it's read and react, right? With fullback, it's go and hit the linebacker. So you know exactly where you're going, and you know what you're looking for with the linebacker movement. So I think he's someone that could be a versatile piece for this team, and hopefully he makes this roster. He's got to have to work his way on there, though, because he's not going to be a fullback this year.
Agreed.
Yeah. Before we get out of here, guys, I had a question submitted, and I just don't ever want to bring it up because we're talking something different. But I do want to get this question out of the way, and he just messaged me again. So I'm going to let you guys answer this. All right. This is a question from Tim. So he says, I have a question that has always driven me crazy. Maybe you guys can talk about it on your next show. A team needs a field goal to win a game with time running out in the fourth quarter, like in the Niners-Saints game. It's only third down and the team still has one timeout. Why do coaches always run the clock down to 2 or 3 seconds before they kick the winning field goal when there could be a bad snap or something else happens? If the coach left, say, 7 seconds on the clock and there's a bad snap, then they could use their last timeout and try the kick again on fourth down. The only reason I can think is that they don't want the other team to get the chance to return a kickoff. But really, what are the odds of a kickoff return for a touchdown on the last play of a game? What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Mike, you want to go?
If I'm not mistaken, once you line up in that field goal,
that's your chance.
That's it. That's your. It's a downs play. Right. If you convert or you don't, that's it. The other team gets the ball.
They get the ball back.
So it's an all or nothing situation. You can't kick a field goal on first down. Something goes wrong. You say, okay, let's try it again on second down.
Right.
Once you snap that field goal position, whether it's a fake or you kick it through or you miss it, you don't get another shot at it. So
the only time you'll get another shot at the field goal is if the defense does something and they line up off sides or anything like that. So coaches typically will run that clock down to 2 seconds just so that if my guy misses this or whatever, we going into overtime, or we'll lose the game or whatever it is. They'll do it like that. It's just the safest way of when it comes to kicking those field goals. But Mike was right. If you go ahead and kick that joint on third down and you miss it, you just gave the team the ball back from the spot where you kicked it. And I think it moves it even further closer. It's better field position for the opposite team. So you definitely don't want to do that.
All right, I'm going to look it up because. All right, so let's see. Got to put the NFL.
Is this Tim right here saying, but if you fumbled the snap, you didn't kick? Is it just a loss to down?
No, it's if you snap that ball from the field goal position, that's it, regardless of the outcome. If you're in field goal formation and you snap that ball, whatever happens, if it's an offensive something, that's it.
That's what I thought.
All right, so here we go. What if a field goal is missed and it's not fourth down? So it says, I guess it's a common place to see a football team attempt a field goal on fourth down. Let's say the football team, for whatever reason, decides to kick it on second or third down and they miss it. Does that attempt count as a down and therefore can have further attempts on making it? The attempt counts as a down. However, the kicking team will not have further attempts on making it as possession change. Given that the field goal attempt is missed as outlined in Rule 11, Section 4, Article 2. 3rd and 2, Team A field goal attempt from B17 is blocked, and A goes out of bounds at the B18, rolling B's ball 1st and 10. So B is meaning
the other team.
Yeah. B is recovered by A2 at the B15, who runs for a touchdown, rolling touchdown, Team A, kickoff, A35. Is recovered simultaneously by A3 and B3 at the B21, rolling B's balls 1st and 10 on B21. Is recovered by this is
sounded funny.
Yeah. D is recovered by A4 at the B19, rolling A's ball 4th and 11 on B19. So if they
is there a thing if there's a fumble on that third down?
So if there's a fumble and the offense recovers, they can try and attempt again, as long as the ball does not cross the line of scrimmage.
Okay.
So if there's a fumble, a missed snap on third down, you're trying to kick a field goal, and the team recovers it, it now goes to fourth down, and you can re-attempt the kick. But if the ball goes past the line of scrimmage, you can't kick it. So again, you lose the down. So you can line up in field goal to kick. And as long as the ball doesn't cross the line of scrimmage, you can get another down. If the ball,
you're right. I get what you're saying. But he asked if it's at the end of the game situation, right? That means
that was at first, but now I think he's asking, what if it's on third down and you fumble? He's just asking a different question
in general. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, no, he's saying so. Why do they wait till 2 seconds left, right? So if they want to try to kick at third. So the answer to his question is, why are they waiting till 2 seconds when they could kick it at 7 seconds on third down and try again? But you can't, because once you kick the ball and it goes past the line of scrimmage, you give that down away. So you're passing up the downs that you have. If the ball is snapped in a bad snap or fumble at 7 seconds and you're trying to kick a field goal and the offense recovers the football, then you can try a fourth down kick again from that same position of where you recovered the football.
But remember this. he said it in game situations. You have to have 2 timeouts available in order to do that, because when you recover a fumble, the clock doesn't stop running.
Correct.
So if you stop even at 7 seconds and you stop the clock instead of at 2, what are the odds of you having 2 timeouts left with less than 10 seconds left in the game?
Right, because
that's why he said with 1 timeout.
Right, and so with 1 timeout, you're gonna call that timeout to stop the clock so your field goal team can get ready. Because you got to remember that kickers, they don't just go back, they don't run out there and snap and go. They have to pace themselves out. The clock is running it all that time, unless you call a timeout to stop it, so that way your kicker can get set. You understand what I'm saying? It's not like a hurry up offense and you run out there and you just snap and kick. That kicker has to go to where the ball is. He places his foot. He paces himself back. He turns. All that would take time otherwise. That's why teams always stop the clock before a field goal kick. You know what I mean? Like that's what happens. So, yeah, that's my answer.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's it's kind of interesting because some people probably always wondered why. Hey, I got 4 downs. Why not try to kick a field goal on 3rd? And if I miss it, get it back. Well, you can't. So,
right.
So somebody said you can throw the ball out of bounds, possibly.
As long as it's before that clock stops. I mean, before that clock expires.
Yeah. So I can't.
Usually, if it's a bad snap, like all shit is going wrong anyway. So you got to get the guy to fall on the guy, and then got to get the timeout to be called. That clock is expired. You better do that shit with 30 seconds left on the clock. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because 7 seconds ain't enough time.
Right. You can't throw it out of bounds because it'll be either illegal grounding or it'll go beyond the line of scrimmage. There's no. You can't just throw it out of bounds either. So, because there's no one over there. Quarterbacks can't even do that. You know what I mean?
There's no receivers in possession. Right. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
It has to be in the vicinity of someone. So,
all right.
Yeah, man.
Good show, guys.
55 is coming soon. Can't wait.
I had a lot of fun. We got some shows lined up for you guys this week. We're going to get some guests on to analyze the draft, see if they know anything about these undrafted free agents, guys. And it's going to be, make sure you guys have the notification set, because if you don't, you might miss something. All right. We're going to keep our eyes open for breaking news. Make sure we bring that to you guys front and center. First and foremost, we want us to be your go-to source for all news 49ers. That's why a lot of you guys have subscribed already. So keep on hitting that subscribe button. Tell your friends about us. Tell a friend to tell a friend. All right. I heard that a lot of couples are watching us. I feel like maybe we need to start bringing some of our females in and say, hey, you want to say hi? Okay, not like this. All right, I'm sorry. She said no, guys. I tried. Hi. No, it's too late. You already said no. All right, so we're going to get up out of here, guys. Thanks for rocking with us, man. Tony had to jump out early, but, he would have been here if he could have all the way for the finish, and we'll be back very, very soon. Any final words, fellas?
Great show, guys.
Nope, I'm good.
All right, let's wrap it up, man. Prepare for glory.
Anticipate pain.
But always remain faithful.
We out of here. Peace.